Hi, Avinash. Good morning. And interesting aggression is what you're showing. Some inorganic growth. Let's talk about the first one then. Span. You're going to be paying around 32 crores, but the revenue that's last reported is less than 5 crores. So what's, justify these valuations for us? It's a little bit baffling, but clearly you believe there's big growth potential and there's a big scope out here. So from this 5 crores, what is the potential of this company, and give us the rationale?
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. I like the term that you used, aggression. We would like to look at it more as, our belief in what we are building. So look, we'd already acquired 45% stake in Span Across. The brand name is TaxSpanner, and the thesis is very simple. The whole ecosystem has evolved in the last decade or so. Tax filing has gone up. There are more and more individuals and companies filing, whether it's their income tax, whether it's their GST. And we are seeing this complexity increase because the way people's salaries are, getting augmented with rental income, with investments, with other, sources of income, filing taxes for millennials has become increasingly more complex, and they need support. Span Across does a great job on that. We've seen, them being able to service companies like HCL, like Accenture. They have a whole host of these contracts that come to us as well, and that's extremely valuable to us. The other, of course, factor is the GST filing, right? And GST filing for mid-sized companies, smaller companies. We have a whole host of channel partners, vendors who need support in being able to do this well. And TaxSpanner brings that capability. So we've seen tremendous traction in the partnership in the last 6 months, and that's why we've gone ahead and made the acquisition.
Ash, business-wise, not questioning you. There's definitely a good rationale that you've gone ahead and bought this, and you're paying 32 crores. My question to you, and from the stock market perspective, they have appreciated this move. The stock price is up more than 4-5%.
Right.
But how do you see the revenue scaling up of this acquired business? From 5 crores, where is it headed?
Well, we don't look at it from a standalone basis because the synergies are superb, right? The synergies are on both levels. One, this business itself benefits from our large base of corporate customers. We have more than 3,100 corporate customers. We have more than 2.9 million users. They are able to offer tax filing capabilities to all these, companies and users. We also have a very large base of channel partners who are dealers, distributors, retailers for a variety of companies and vendors of a variety of companies. They are capable of serving this audience as well. And that number is, running into lakhs. And that's where we believe that, revenues for the TaxSpanner business would grow. Revenues for the Zaggle Save business would grow because we are getting more, stickiness from our corporate customers.
Avinash, hi, morning. Prashant here. Good to speak with you again after a while.
Yes, Prashant.
So my question was, so is this a service you throw in? I mean, is this because we've got lots of these companies, right, who you can file your tax return for, as low as I think $500, maybe lower. Lots of these. So this will be like an add-on or sweetener to that you throw in to your existing relationships, or this is really valuable that you can make money of it, if you can give us a sense.
Prashant, it's really valuable because you can make money on this. It's also an add-on, right? And today, if you look at corporate customers want a holistic, comprehensive solution. They want, capabilities for their employees where they're taken care of end to end, right? So we already are a market leader in the employee benefits segment, and this becomes a great addition to that capability. From a corporate perspective also today, a lot of companies, we may not necessarily acquire all users in a company, all employees in a company, because all employees may not be incurring expenses or claiming reimbursements from the company, right? But everybody needs to file taxes.
So what's the TAM for this from your universe? Forget about selling this to new customers, but in your existing universe,
yes.
Just some idea. Obviously, you've done the internally. You've discussed this. What's the TAM? How many people? And would you charge per filing? I mean, would it be something like that? Yeah, go on.
So So it would be a part of our bundle in terms of our SaaS revenue, Prashant, right? So we be able to increase our SaaS fees per corporate. The number of corporates that we think would be interested in this sort of a service would run into thousands, right? Because every company has employees who have these challenges. We also sit with a very large base of, as I said, SMEs who are channel partners or who are vendors. So we have more than 500,000 of those who are active on our platform, and that's a large base to whom you can offer both, IT services, IT filing services, advanced tax, your GST. So that's another big opportunity that we see that we'd be looking to tap into.
Avinash, hi. When one looks at a lot of the broker notes and the research around Zaggle, one thing that was constantly popping up is the expectations from your vertical called Zoyer, which is where I think you target the mid-segment, the mid-market clients, right? And now you just spoke about, this latest acquisition. So I have a slightly bigger picture question for you. Tell us, if we break up the company, there is obviously the employee benefits business, there is Zoyer, there is Forex cards. So just tell us, I mean, in terms of the revenue breakup, how will the individual key verticals grow over the next 1 year or so? And all the optimism around Zoyer actually leading that growth, and I think you're talking about growing in international markets, etc. Is all that optimism well placed?
So yeah, thank you for that, Subhi. It's very well placed in our view. We've seen tremendous traction in Zoyer. 40% of our spends are now Zoyer, right? Last year, if you look at our program, last quarter, if you look at our program fees of about 126 crores, 55 crores came from Zoyer, right? So Zoyer has really taken off, and Zoyer was zero on 31st March 2023. So there's obviously, and if you think of it logically, right, everybody needs vendor payments, everybody has vendors, everybody files for GST. You have petty cash use cases for NBFCs, AMCs, brokerage houses, retail chains, very large retail chains, small retail chains. Everybody has petty cash challenges, right? So these are use cases which are very, very ubiquitous. You also have the standard use cases around SaaS spends, marketing spends, like Facebook, Google, AWS payouts. So you look at all the places where people are spending, people as in companies, and they want a better handle of how to optimize on that. They want to be able to have evidences of those spends, that those are bona fide spends, and they want to have limits and policies on the what basis these spends would be authorized or allowed, and married to a payment instrument which is going to be able to allow you a seamless recon, which is what we offer here.
So, okay, just to go back to the numbers to round things up, the last guidance given by the company for this year's growth was, I think, 45 to 55%, with an aim to hit EBITDA margins of about 10%. Are you on track with that? Or is, say, Zoyer growing and some of the other acquisitions that you're doing, is all of that coming together in such a way that you would be exceeding the guidance on revenue or margin?
Yeah, so we are absolutely on track for that. And in fact, in the last analyst call also, we had said that depending on how our numbers shape up at the end of Q2, we may up the guidance. And, Q2 seems to be shaping up really well. All the growth that we're talking of should be 45 to 55% is organic. This is not coming in from the acquisitions. Those would be like icing on the cake. And that's how we are looking at it. All the revenue that we're talking of is essentially from Save, Propel, Zoyer, all the existing businesses that we have. Right?
And within those existing businesses, if you could rank them in order of growth, what should we expect? Save, Propel, Zoyer, what would be the order?
Zoyer, Save, Propel, right? That's the order. Zoyer being, the larger, market potential, because everybody has vendors. Vendor payouts are also larger. And followed by Save, employee expenses is really taken off. Just today, I saw in Economic Times a large article about how business travel is doubling. So business travel is very, closely linked to, expense management. As business travel grows, your expense management capability has to mature, because, everybody is traveling. How are you going to be able to make sure that those are, according to the company policy? There's no leakage, there's no fraud. How do you make it easy for people to file their expenses? There's so many nuances and factors here.
And 10% margin this year, EBITDA margin?
EBITDA margin is our guidance, because we are staying, consistent with that. We'll be around 10%, and that's what we are aiming for.
Right. Top line growth what would 45 to 50%? That's the range, right? What you've said.
45 to 55, which we may increase, Prashant, after Q2 numbers.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. You don't want to say by how much, right?
Well, too early, but the numbers are looking good. Let me put it this way, really good.
Okay, numbers are looking really good. The stock's also looking really good. On margins, what I have is adjusted margins are between 11 and 13% for the full year. Is that?
So that was last year, Prashant. This year guidance is about 10%. And because we're capturing market share, that's what we're going to stick to right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining us.